So one of the things which we were initially very worried about was the fact that certain journalists from well-known newspapers like the Financial Times, like the Washington Post, the New York Times, their visas were not being renewed. This was the first thing that we thought, what is going on? And of course, then when we heard that Jimmy Lai had been imprisoned and that Apple Daily had been closed down, we're extremely concerned about that. We've also heard from journalists from independent news outlets like Ming Pao that they have also experienced repression, that they've been told to keep silent. There's been a version of self-censorship, but also at the other end of the spectrum, also being, having the police visit in the middle of the night or even being imprisoned. So we are very worried about the freedom of the press in Hong Kong, and we would like to see our own government here in the UK raising these issues when they do meet with their counterparts from the Chinese government, so that we can maintain the pressure that respecting human rights, respecting press freedoms is very, very important. Originally, obviously, travelling to Hong Kong, 7-8 years ago, it just felt like Hong Kong. Very vibrant place, great place to do business, great place to live. And then slowly we started to hear more and more stories about repression. For example, the Legislative Council not being allowed to stand candidates who wished to stand. It was only a certain type of candidate that got approved by Beijing or by leader of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam. And of course, this is not how democracy should work. The closure of the Apple Daily was a huge blow. And also in the university, the removal of the lovely statue, which did commemorate the 1989 Beijing Tiananmen Square incident. We were very disappointed to see that was removed overnight, and that when there was a protest to express concern and express anger by the students, there was police brutality. So we have been really worried about the general tone and the general feeling in Hong Kong for quite some time now. I do hope that journalists here, firstly, are safe, and we are raising with the Home Office what measures they're putting in place to ensure the safety of activists, whether it's journalists, whether it's trade union officials or any others. And secondly, to introduce them to journalists here in the UK so that hopefully they can get work in the same kind of field. Even members of Parliament and community groups need to be careful about who is around them or who is trying to influence them. And obviously in the case of Christine Lee, who was considered to be somebody infiltrating into Parliament through an MP, the government needs to increase security, and it also needs to increase the numbers of checks that are done on MPs who may be associated with people who may be acting on behalf of a foreign country. Well, what I would like to say to all of the young people in Hong Kong is keep going. We know it's hard, and it's not just young people, it's families, it's older folk who are feeling the climate change. I've met many Hong Kong people, and I am always amazed by how brave they are and how committed they are to freedom in Hong Kong. And let's not forget that the more we are repressed by these repressive regimes, we do need to stand up to them, because we know that democracy dies in the dark. So we need to keep putting a spotlight on those repressive actions so that we can encourage our government to take a firmer stand, and also to be on the side of those people facing repression, facing difficult times. But my general experience is the young people of Hong Kong are very, very brave, and they know the future that they want for Hong Kong, and they have told me how committed they are to continuing to fight for that freedom.
3、2、1追新聞。